Lady Ningguang.
Sorry to have kept you waiting.
No, not at all. I know that you have 1,000 different things to do each day. I'm very grateful for any amount of time you can spare for me.
Great. Well, let's leave the formalities aside from now on and make this just a friendly chat. This is the Traveler. I'm assuming you've heard of her. She happened to be in Liyue Harbor today, so I invited her to come along. It's a rare opportunity to dine with her, too. Do you mind if she sits with us?
No, not at all. On the contrary, I'm honored. What a surprise to be dining with the illustrious Traveler, too. I've always been fascinated by you and your adventures. There's so many questions I'd love to ask you. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? I forgot to introduce myself. Look at me, getting all overexcited. I'm Luo Qiao, a businesswoman. I work mostly in the textile business, but recently I've been considering branching out into some other markets. That's what I wanted to ask Lady Ningguang for some advice about. I didn't know there'd be a surprise guest involved, too. So, the rumors are true, then?
Rumors? About what exactly?
You know, the rumors about the two of you, Lady Ningguang and the Traveler, having a closer than average relationship. You haven't heard? Come on, you must know that Lady Ningguang's every move is in the spotlight. That obviously includes her relationships. And if you didn't have some sort of special relationship, why would she invite you to this lunch right after finding out that you were back in Liyue Harbor?
Interesting. Yes, we do have a special relationship, but I don't see anything unusual about it. The Traveler is a national hero in Liyue whose actions have directly contributed toward the prosperity we enjoy today. Even putting aside my official status as one of the Liyue Qixing, I admire her on a personal level, too.
Oh, yes. Well, there is nothing unusual about it at all. I was just observing that Lady Ningguang now seems to have a second interesting character in her innermost circle. The first one being the captain.
You're comparing apples and sunsettias there. Whenever Beidou returns to Liyue Harbor, all she brings me is a headache. I've missed out on a number of extremely promising investment opportunities thanks to her. In fact, the timing is always so suspiciously coincidental, I can't help but wonder if she's doing it on purpose.
Investment opportunities? Oh, do you mean the luminescent spine business? I hear that's been all the rage recently.
No, something else. All the talk about luminescent spines is just empty hype.
Oh, but isn't there some new technology from Fontaine that needs lots of luminescent spines to make it work?
If it were really that profitable, those in the know would have kept it as quiet as possible. You have to wonder, if the news is spreading like wildfire, who's fanning the flames? I had my secretary do some analysis. The current price of luminescent spines far exceeds the profits that could be made on the end product. So I would advise you to be cautious.
I see. Well, I was planning to get your opinion on how to get started in that business.
In my opinion, there are many people around with ulterior motives, making this a very risky business to enter into in the short term. Long term, it's very difficult to say, but I believe there's too much uncertainty to make it worth your investment. You worked hard to earn every more you own, and you should be just as careful spending it as you were making it.
You think so too, huh? Okay, got it. If that's what both of you think, I'll take my time and not rush into anything. Maybe it'd be a better choice to invest this money into an industry that I'm genuinely interested in getting involved with. Lady Ningguang, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I didn't know how much we'd get through, but you've answered every question I wanted to ask.
Good. I'm glad I could be of some help.
Now I see why you were able to become the most successful business person in Liyue Harbor. You think clearly, you are very knowledgeable, and you keep yourself well informed. It would take me a very long time to come anywhere close to your level.
You've been listening for a while. Are you getting bored? Has it sparked an interest in the business world for you? That means you also have a good head on your shoulders, and the ability to learn rapidly. If you are in need of Mora, you should absolutely consider doing business.
I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you. This lunch was everything I was hoping for and more. I can't wait to try out everything I've learned.
See you next time. I'll look forward to hearing good news from you soon. Right then. Lunch is over. I assume you have something planned next? Although, I'm a little concerned about the auction. I wonder how my secretarial trio is getting along. Good, then let's do that. There are some slippery characters among the bidders, you see. So, even though my secretaries are very capable and experienced, I still can't help worrying for them a little. Come on, the auction is being held at Yujing Terrace.
Lady Ningguang, what brings you here?
I couldn't help but feel a little concerned, so I just came to see how everything is going.
We're about ready, and people are starting to arrive. I think we should be able to start on time.
Very good. I think I'll host the auction myself.
Huh? You want to do it yourself?
Yes, just in case anything untoward happens. I can take care of it myself.
Then we'll leave the auction itself to you. But we'll be sure to lend our full support behind the scenes.
Have you attended an auction before? Well, would you like to participate this time? You don't have to bid, of course. Just experience the atmosphere. All right then. Feel free to take a look around the venue before it kicks off. Check out the items up for bidding and see if there's anything you might be interested in. It's about time to start. Find yourself somewhere to sit and we'll kick things off. Yes? What is it? That's for you to make a considered judgment on. It's precisely what makes auctions so interesting, don't you think? Until the bids exceed the value of the item you're after, you can keep raising the price. If the bids go beyond what you can accept, then you let someone else take it. Perhaps this does not result in what you might call a fair price, but what it does do is identify the person who values the item the most. Yes, you should look forward to it. The first lot is a teacup from my personal collection. Bids starting at 10,000 mora. That's 10,000 mora for the teacup.
20,000!
30,000!
50,000.
80,000! 80,000 over here!
I'll raise that to 100,000!
120.
I swear, some of these bidders are just driving the price up for fun. All right, 150,000. Anyone else want to keep going now?
150 once?
170?
180,000.
Mm-mm.
180 once? 180 twice? 180. Sold!
Yeah, it's mine now.
Okay then, moving straight on to the next lot. You seem to be getting quite into it. What a shame that you didn't manage to go home with anything. Of course it did. That's because I didn't come here to sell my things. I'm sure you must find it quite odd that all these everyday items could fetch such a huge price at auction. Since you're curious, why not go and talk to the buyers? I'm sure they'll give you the answers you're looking for.
Today wasn't my day. Didn't manage to snag much. There were too many bidders, and they all seemed like experts to me. I guess I'll just have to wait for the next auction. Someday, I'll be the lucky one.
I may have paid an arm and a leg for this, but in the end, I got the result I wanted. Nothing of Ningguang's could ever be overinflated. I'm far from the only buyer who believes that owned by Ningguang is worth paying a premium for. So how much I make just depends on how many people are even bigger fans of Ningguang than I am.
Huh? You want to know why I paid so much? Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Because the previous owner was Lady Ningguang. Sure, the item may look pretty ordinary, but that's probably just because I'm not a connoisseur, so I don't know how to appreciate it. But I figured I'd buy it first, then go get it appraised by an expert. Then I'll be rich.
Well, did you find the answer yet? That's certainly part of it. But every bidder will have noticed that none of these items have a particularly high going rate on the market in and of themselves. Despite this, they were all willing to pay very dearly for them. I wonder, is faith in me really the only factor in their appraisal of the item's value? You'll see shortly. The one who spent the most money will surely be the quickest to realize. If all I wanted to do was make some quick mora by exploiting their blind faith in me, I have a million more effective ways of achieving that than hosting an auction. Every participant in this auction was handpicked by me, based on certain intelligence.
Lady Ningguang, something doesn't seem quite right with the items from today's auction. As unlikely as this sounds, and please forgive me for even bringing it up, but I had to ask. You weren't selling counterfeits today, were you?
Counterfeits? Absolutely not. What motive would anyone have for making copies of things like these? They are simply ordinary items, and there was no coercion or enticement during the auction. Every bid was voluntary.
Because we trusted you! Everyone knows that you love Mora, but we also know that you made your fortune through honest means, as opposed to scamming people.
You seem to have entered into dangerous linguistic territory there. You should know that unless you have evidence to support your outlandish claims, I am legally entitled to sue you for slander. Of course, if you have any genuine grievances about the auction, the lots, or the process, please enlighten me as to where exactly I went wrong.
You... Fine. Yes, technically, it was all legitimate. Guess all I can do is take the loss. But if word gets out about today's auction, people are gonna start seeing you as a con artist. No one would dare do business with you after that. I guess what I'm saying is this really in your best interests?
Let me answer that with a question. You claim that you were willing to pay a high price because you trusted me. But is that really the full story?
What do you mean? What else could it be?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps it could be something to do with a lost item from the original Jade Chamber collection that has quietly made its way into your hands. When the Jade Chamber fell, countless valuable items from my collection plunged into the sea. I organized a salvage operation, but still there were many items unaccounted for. A considerable number of these made their way back into Liyue Harbor through means unbeknownst to me, and passed through several pairs of hands before finally ending up in yours, and those of your fellow bidders today.
Wait, you mean...
Yes. Everyone attending the auction today is in possession of lost property belonging to me. Or, to put it another way, they were all people who have had a taste of something that was mine and convinced themselves that I am someone to be taken advantage of. So I ask you again, your high bidding price, was it motivated by trust, or was it greed? The sole reason I held this auction is to reclaim my treasured possessions. If you are willing to return what is mine, I will refund all the money you spent in the auction today.
All right, fine. I guess I'll return it. You drive a hard bargain, like everyone says. I'll go and get it right now. Please just wait here.
Despite his bad attitude, he cooperated in the end. Good for him. The issue was that all items of mine that have been fished out of the sea have changed hands numerous times already. Determining who has legal ownership would be an extremely long-winded process, with each item being assessed on a case-by-case basis. Even Yenfei says she'd have a difficult time defending my claims. I could have bought them back, but it's not in my nature to pay twice for the same thing. Least of all, when they'd be looking to make a handsome profit from my misfortune. After making some inquiries, I found them to be most uncooperative. So I had to resort to this auction to finally put a stop to all this nonsense. I just wanted my things back. Hardly an unusual sentiment. At most, a little childish perhaps. Which is another reason why I didn't tell anybody about my plan. What do you think it was about the Jade Chamber that defeated Osile? Well, I think it was a combination of the weight and the energy it contains. Its great weight meant that it hit Osile with incredible force, while the energy within triggered that spectacular explosion. Every piece of the Jade Chamber, from the stone walls and wooden beams down to the smallest ornament, contributed to its total weight. But in the end, they became objects of merchants' greed. It's hard not to get a little irked thinking about it. Thank you for understanding. Now I've got one of my items back. Let me show you what makes it so special. The secrets of history shine through in the relics that survive. And this one now has the story of another age to tell.
Please be mindful of your personal safety.